BowmanDigitalMedia.com.
JoeTheFinanceGuy.com.
All right. Hello.
I did it. I did it. Well, first off, welcome to the very first produced by me Cup of Joe. So I want to say thank you very much for being here. I am thrilled to be on here today, and I have a guest host with me, and that is Jason Ricks. Jason, thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here with you, Joe, and you're making it look like a pro already. I don't know that I'm near as good looking as Ira, but we're going to try to make this as entertaining, if not more so. All right.
That is awesome. Well, guess who's in the green room? The green room right now, Professor Pete. I could see him. He's on a walk. So he did tell me, he goes, Joe, I'd come on a little bit. I want to bring him on. I got to bring him on. And if you're out there, anybody, please put in where you're at right now. I'm in Indianapolis, Jason, wherever you're at. But please come on in and let us know. But I'm gonna bring Professor on.
Oh, there he is.
Professor Pete.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm wrapping up a hike. You could probably see some nice background here. I'm coming down a mountain.
Yeah, your background definitely beats the heck out of my pale yellow office here. So I'm kind of envious.
Yeah, that does look that looks really good. Looks really good, Professor Pete.
Busy here. So I don't know if you even hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. We can hear you. I know that you're going in and out too a little bit, Professor. Am I right on that, Jason, or is it me? I can hear him. But
okay, now you're back. You guys are back. So I don't know if you heard me, but the connection's not great here up on the mountain.
Well, I'm glad that you came, Professor Pete. I really am. I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate the support because obviously, this is my first time doing the actual StreamYard work.
Well, and you did a fantastic job, my friend. So see, you got to have confidence.
I know. And when I talked to Ira today, he goes, Joe, this is doing is just getting you ready for Joe After Dark. Because I'm going to be doing, and it's not what you think. It's not going to be the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be some
Gotham City saving the day Batman.
No, well, actually, I would rather say that it was. Joe After Dark makes me think of like the cable news or the cable network movies after midnight. When the lines come on. But
I think
that old 90s Up All Night or what it was on USA, the Risque TV show. Yeah, this is a kids programming, Joe.
Yeah, Joe After Dark, and my idea when I was telling Ira about it was just like a silhouette of Batman, but not Batman, so I could use it. Like maybe the cowl is cut off or whatever. but I would be right there and on there, and it would be Joe After Dark, and then I would have the guests on. So I think it's great. I mean, I learned so much in the past 24 hours because even though Ira and I talked about this last week that I'd be doing it, yeah, I learned so much of how to use this software. So it's
Well, and I think you doing an After Dark show would be perfect with all your costumes and stuff. It's you're a natural in front of the camera, so it doesn't matter what time that you'd be doing it. You'll hit a home run.
well, thank you, Professor. I appreciate it. Well, Professor, I the 3 questions I'm asking everybody as they come in, and I'm telling you, I love doing the 3 question thing because after watching, I'm going to give a shout out to Brian Schulman, Nancy Burrows for Shout Out Saturday. When I watch them, they're just tremendous, and they do stuff like Saturday morning. But the 3 questions for today is, Professor Pete, what is your favorite drink?
Okay, and so we're going to go one at a time. These
Well,
questions.
yeah, I mean, I guess I'd give you all 3, and then you could tell me. But favorite drink,
Favorite drink would be-
comedian, favorite music.
Okay, favorite drink would probably be a Hurricane because when my first job out of college, I worked for FedEx, and I discovered we were in a 6-week training in Memphis, Tennessee, and so a group of us decided to rent a van and drive from Memphis down to New Orleans for the weekend, and I discovered hurricanes, and so my nickname became Hurricane because I had a few too many of them.
Hurricane Professor Pete. See, now, if you were my doctor, I'd have to go a little bit deeper on that. What's in a hurricane?
So it's a mixture of a lot of sweet stuff. I honestly don't know everything that's made in it. I just order it.
That is, if I could go to a bar and say, give me a hurricane, I'm going to try it. So
There you go. And then I would say the second one would be maybe a Long Island iced tea. That one, I'm more familiar with what goes in that. That's my old college drink.
well, I think I would try it because I remember back in the day, I used to have parties in Florida, and I used to make this thing called Jungle Juice, and it had everything in it, and I made it in a trash can. And I remember having these parties back in Boca Raton, Florida. So yeah, I wasn't always a good kid.
No,
I really, and actually, I was a real good kid compared to my brothers. So I'm pretty good. But all right, so that's your favorite drink, favorite comedian.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, great comedian, and favorite music.
Are we talking genre of music, or
Song.
are we talking?
You could do song. You could do whatever you want.
Okay, so this will thoroughly embarrass me, but my favorite music is disco. I'm a 70s kid.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Saturday Night Fever, baby.
That's what I'm
Got it.
talking about. Disco. Let's see if I have anything on here that's disco that I'm allowed to play. I wonder if I do have anything.
Good thing neither of my kids are on LinkedIn regularly, or else they'd be just thoroughly embarrassed as well.
Oh wow, a night disco. Let's see what that sounds like.
Oh, there you go. I know what night disco is.
Is that good enough, Professor?
That's good enough. Joe, you did me a great favor.
Oh man, and then the phone goes off down here.
You know why? Because they're telling you that play some more disco.
Yeah. No, it's my father-in-law. You know what's funny? I should actually pick it up and make him be part of the thing. Or, you know what's even funnier? He might be on YouTube or Facebook and going like this, what the hell is my son-in-law doing on the thing? So that would have been funny.
Hey, Joe. So Scott just threw down the gauntlet. You have to.
No, I can't. I'm not doing. My God, and little story. So Scott Blankenship back in the day, Scott, if you're watching this, Scott used to be. I had the. I don't even want to say I had because that's not really true. When I worked for Aaron's back in the day as a regional manager, and that was for Rosie Rentals, Michael Bennett was one of the director of operations, and Scott was part of the team. So he was one of my managers, and we go way back on there. Scott was like my junior and great person. You owe me a calls too, Scott. I would like to find out how the kids, how the kid is, how's he doing in baseball. You and the wife. I want to know. But anyways, they all seen me do the dance because I was very straight laced when it came to work. But when we were doing stuff and making jokes, yeah, he's seen the Carlton dance. So,
man, hold on. So this is your first ever produced show, the first big launch. We're talking about Joe After Dark and all that, and you're not gonna drop the Carlton on us.
Oh, I would. I don't think. And Scott, I think you're messing up the Carlton dance with the Roger Rabbit. I'm telling you think it's the Roger Rabbit.
Well,
I know you are.
I'll settle for seeing the Roger Rabbit, but before that, I need to know from Scott, is Scott any relation to the former Major League Baseball player Lance Blankenship?
Oh, that's a good question.
Scott, that actually is a good question. Scott, are you related to Lance Blankenship? Because Scott is a phenomenal baseball player. I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah, that one too. Oh, that's the Roger Rabbit answer, I guess.
Yeah, that's the Roger Rabbit one. Yeah, because we got the lag. But he is a great baseball player. His son, oh my God, he said his uncle.
That's your uncle, Lance Blankenship? Oh, how awesome, because I saw Lance Blankenship break into the major leagues with the Oakland A's. I was at that game.
That's awesome.
Well, I didn't even know that about Scott. I really didn't.
That's awesome.
And I'm telling you, we had the team in East Tennessee. They were the best team around. I believe I won regional manager of the year, or regional director of the year, excuse me, 2 or 3 times because of that team. They were just awesome. So, and Scott was one of them. Scott was.
Isn't that weird how that works? Like when those like that perfect team, it just kind of comes together, and you have all the right ingredients, and it just gels. And like when you're in the middle of it, I don't even know, like, because I lived this 2 times, and both times as I look back, I'm like, that was really special. But when I was in the middle of it, I didn't even appreciate how special it was at the moment because we were just having so much fun, right? Like you didn't really realize just how special it was,
Yep.
Yeah, but if you were having that fun though, you did appreciate it. That's the thing that, and so when you look back retroly to it and you appreciate that, but if you're living in the moment and having the fun, then you were appreciating it.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you, when we I believe in work hard, play hard. And when we would do meetings, there is this place, I can't even remember the name of it. Scott, you might remember the name. It was like a kiddie place where they had parties in there, buffet. You could do laser tag and a bunch of games. And that's really nice. That what he did, man. That's really cool, and it's awesome.
Wait a minute! Don't just blow off that and just say that's really cool.
I know. Well, I want to finish the story. I want to go back to that part too, but
okay.
Scott, man, thank you. You're going to make me blush on here. But anyways, I would take them to do team building, and we would play laser tag. We would eat. They would have to suffer through whatever I was teaching them, and whatever they were teaching, because they had to give some teaching classes in there as well. And we'd do go-karts, something like that. It was always fun. And I remember the last time I met with all of them, believe it or not, all my managers came to my house, and my wife, everybody was moved out. I was just getting the house ready, so that it could be sold so we could leave. I was the last one there. They all came to help me. They all came, and it was great. And I think it was 2:00 in the morning. We're sitting out in my driveway, just talking. So it was awesome. So now, Professor, I won't go past it, but Joe taught me to be the person I am today. He's the best. And yeah, I don't even know what to say, Junior. So thank you.
You deserve that. People don't say that just to say that. So that's that you just soak that in, Joe.
Yeah, it's wow. I make people laugh, and then you're gonna make me cry on television. Thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate that. It'll be on replay too, Scott. So thanks. But no, the team was awesome. They're just such a great team. So they were great. And then Fun Expeditions was the place I was talking about. And it was so fun. My kids didn't go to Fun Expeditions as much as the team went. So I had kids and I would not take them there. So that was great. And we were called the Eastern Eagles. So
okay, so you must have said great, I don't know, 10, 12 times. So let us know something that made that team great.
The people. It was the team. It was the people on there. Somebody cornered me one time and said, is it about you? And it really wasn't. It wasn't about me. When you get a good team together, it was all about them. I taught them how to do my job, for one, and I taught them to think like me, so that it was like cloning me, but they were all individual personalities. Like Scott was probably the closest one that was like me, always thinking about money and everything else. That's how come I call him Junior. But everybody, it was just a great team. We all, and Scott, you know this, because as much as there were rifts with all of us, there was always a gel of some sort. So, but that was it. I would say it was about the people, Professor. It was not all me. It was the professor, or it was the.
It was the professor.
I wasn't even there.
It was the team, Professor. Sorry.
Joe, the thing is about that, you said something there that's really cool, is that, when you get a good leader that sets great vision and says, this is how we're going to be great, and we're not just going to be good, we're not going to be excellent, we're going to be great. I think that when the right people come together and you put that vision where everyone believes it and can go get it, that's how the magic happens. And usually in those great situations like we were talking about, very rarely are those created without that. It all started with a vision, right? So you had a vision of what you wanted your team to be, and you sold that to everybody, and then everybody drank the Kool-Aid, if you will, and then y'all became what y'all were. And I don't mean the Kool-Aid derogatory. I'm just saying.
No. I didn't take it as such, and I know what you mean. If you believe in the leadership and you believe in the vision, you ought to stay. But if you don't believe in the leadership or you don't believe in the vision, then why are you at any company? And I believed in the leadership and the vision at that time with Rosie Rentals, with Michael Bennett and Brian Kahn. I believed in it wholeheartedly, and the team I know believed in me. So which was awesome. And if you don't mind, Jason, since you're putting stuff in there, do you want to put the StreamYard link in there to see if anybody else? Because Scott, if you want to come on. I think I could have up to 10 people on this thing.
So Mariella, she says that she's got this Greek Marsala liqueur. So I would say going with a liqueur. Have you guys ever had Disaronno Amaretto drink?
I have. I've heard Amaretto. I've never had that specific drink.
Yeah, Disaronno, boy, that's the top of the line of the Amaretto drinks. And wow, talk about a smooth liqueur as well.
That would be good. And I like a sweet drink.
Yeah, me too.
And I know I didn't answer. My favorite drink has always been kamikazes.
Oh,
I love
okay.
kamikazes. I could drink them. I could just keep drinking them all the time. They were always good. So
Yeah, see that's like the hurricanes are sweet too, and you don't realize how much liquor is in them.
Yep.
It's a mixture of stuff too, but wow. I don't know if you guys have been down to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, but now they really, at least pre-COVID, I assume it's going to be back to this way as well. But it was amazing what they were concocting in with ice drinks too. That was just available everywhere. My goodness. But when I had the hurricane, they didn't have that. But when I went back to go to run trade shows and stuff, it was like, holy moly, what was going on there?
I was talking to my wife last night. I was going, I need to pick up a fifth of like Southern Comfort before I do the show. And she looked at me and she goes like this, what? I go, well, I really want to do that because that's the whole thing. It's Friday night. We got off work, it's like happy hour almost with friends. That's what I wanted to make it. And she goes like this, you wouldn't even drink. You might as well get one of those mini bottles. So,
get an airplane shooter.
Right. She goes, that's the most you would probably drink. And I said, all right, Dad. I still didn't get it though, because I was trying to hurry up and get back here so I could do this. Jason, what's your favorite drink?
Oh, I almost embarrassed to admit what my favorite drink is, but I discovered this when I was on vacation down in Florida 4 years ago. It's almost like a Malibu rummer, but it's like called a rum runner, and it's got like.
I used to have those, and when I was actually at Baja Beach Club.
Yeah, and that's my favorite, and the main reason is because I just like sweet. I'm not a big I don't like the taste of most alcohol. I think it's because when I was in Korea, though, one of the last years I was in the Air Force, I was drunk more than I was sober that year. So because that was all there was to do, to go off the base and go downtown, drink some beer and drink. So,
and that's how I got the Jungle Juice. I got it from when I was in Korea.
Did y'all ever do those ammo bowls? Did you ever do those ammo bowls where they put it in that big silver bowl and they put the lid on top and they stick like 100 straws in it and everybody gets a draw? Remember those? That was like the Jungle Juice.
Yeah,
we called them ammo bowls, and I think it
had soju, ginger ale.
Oh, it had so much liquor in it. It was insane. And the other thing that was cool there was they had a thing called a snake bite. Did you ever have one of those?
No.
So they had a snake bite. Yeah, they had this tequila that had literally like a venomous snake in it, and they would serve shots of this, and they sold it as it was dangerous because it's this venomous snake, right? Yeah, so everybody would go down, like that was the big thing when everybody got to town. You go and do a snake bite, and it's like the initiation thing.
That's interesting because I believe that's the drink that my son talked about too. He was over in Korea for a year and just got back in February, and now he's in Florida. And he mentioned something about that. Even though they have COVID lockdown, every now and then they could get out off base to go into some town. I forgot what it was, and I believe that was the name of the drink he talked about.
Yeah,
it put me on the worst drunk I ever had was in Korea, and I remember one of the captains. I was in the bathroom at the local place. I'm obviously taking out everything that I put in. As nicely as I could put it, and he goes, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'll be fine." And still to this day, I cannot drink Jim Beam. The smell of it makes me gag. And Jim Beam was my worst drunk ever. I wouldn't do that again.
Hey, so Joe, let me share my worst situation. So I was probably 21. I mean, I had just gotten to the drinking age, and we went to H-Town, Houston. Carlos is in the house from H-Town. Thanks for being here, Carlos. So, actually, we were down in Party Zone of Houston, and we went to this bar. I was with these chicks that I met on the internet, and I was home from the military, and they took me to this bar. And mind you, by this time, I haven't drank a whole lot in my lifetime. And we go, and they've got a special. They got 50 cents Jello shots. So the girls buy I don't know, they bought 60 or something of these things, right? And they just sit them there. And I just started eating them. Boom, boom, boom. And they're not paying attention. And we're just having fun. And they look over finally, and I got 15 of them bad boys lined up. And one of the girl goes, did you just eat all those? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, woohoo, 30 minutes in, and they're like, oh, you are so effed, Needless to say, that was my first experience with the room spinning, and there's nothing worse than a ceiling fan being on in a spinning room, because that fan looks like it's going 100 miles an hour.
Oh, I could just imagine. I can't do those days now. There's a reason why I stopped after one, because there is no way I don't think I could do that ever again.
Oh no.
So I told you about my hurricane story. So, and I ended up staggering back to my hotel room. I'm lucky I'm alive, because apparently I just wandered through some very, very tough areas of New Orleans. But I remember a friend of mine, we were out having drinks, and he way overdid it. There were 4 of us, and I remember it was winter time. I remember it was cold, and we were driving back in one guy's car. I was in the back seat. The guy who was so drunk was in the front seat, and I remember there was this a car of 4 girls that pull up next to us, and they're kind of flirting with us, and I'm thinking, this is pretty cool.
All right, Professor Pete after dark. Okay.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden, so I'm talking to the guy next to me, and then I look back over to the because the guy in the front who had been drinking, he had rolled his window down. And we said it was really cold. Roll the window back up. So he rolls the window back up, and then he rolls it back down. And I look to see the girls, and all I can see is the car going, what? It's the car just changing lanes, because we're on the highway. And I didn't know why. And I asked, I wonder why they're doing this. I turn, and then I look back, and I can't see anything. And the next thing I know is it's because the guy in the front has got his head out the window and letting it go. And so I remember we pull up in front of his house about 10 minutes later, and his face is just, in it, covered.
Oh,
and
gosh.
He says to the driver, he says, I'm so sorry. But this is the best part. I remember this. This is 30 years ago. He says, I had a good time. This is the price you pay for a good time.
That's good.
You know what?
That's
what it is.
Positive thinking.
Yeah, that is so true. It's the price you pay to have a good time. Oh my God!
I just got tagged that I'm almost out of battery, so I think I'm gonna have to disconnect.
No problem. Well, I appreciate you being on, Professor Pete. Thank you. Oh my God!
You bet.
I'm gonna have to throw that phone out.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Pete. It was good to see you.
Oh, not Dr. Professor, but
yeah, Professor Pete.
Anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and nice work, Joe, getting this thing rolling.
Thanks, Professor Pete. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye. So, all right. So we're on here, and next time that thing goes off, I'm getting up and throwing it out of my room. But anyways, now we're on favorite music. So Mariella said her husband's, my husband.
Yes.
So I don't even. Is her husband in a band, or is it just his music, or is there another?
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
I want to know more about that, Marielle. So, what's your favorite music, Jason?
Oh my gosh, you know what? It's really weird because I'm about as mud as it comes. Like seriously, I listen to country. I'll listen to 80s. I'll listen to 90s rap. It's funny because my team. Often I like to in the situation. It's really weird. I'll just bust into a song that kind of fits the mood or whatever's going on, and it's hilarious to see the looks on people's faces when they're like, "How'd you know? You know about that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not dead."
I just think my wife and I were singing "Gangsta's Paradise" upstairs.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's all over the place. I like. You know what I really enjoy though. What? That's kind of weird. A lot of people. I love instrumental marches because I was in the band, almost like the Aggie band at Texas A&M. I like that kind of stuff, and I like music from movies and stuff. Like Jurassic Park, the theme from Jurassic Park. Williams, what's his first name? The guy, he did that. He did Star Wars. John Williams, yeah, just incredible, right? Like when those trumpets and everything hit, it just gets me jazzed. I just love it.
Mariella, please share his YouTube channel. I would love to listen to it. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool if he's a composer and a writer. I'm like, this sounds like this could be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a theme for Joe After Dark. So yeah, I might have to reach out. All right, so that was your favorite. Mine has always been 80s. I will rock out in the back cave down here and listen to 80s music all the time. I was trying to see if my
when you say now let me ask you this, because the 80s kind of had two themes, right? You had the popish kind that was like Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, Janet Jackson, or Whitney Houston, those, right? And then you kind of had that metal band, right? Which one was it?
It was more like this pop. Sorry,
right.
I found it on there. I had to play it. So I love having the music right here that I could just go right here and look at it. There was something like, when did video kill the radio star? But this is not it. But anyways, all right. Sorry about that. I just wanted to put that out there. I love 80s, so mine is more pop. Like I'll sit down here, and if it's going off, my son will be out. Like he's in a different part of the back cave, and he's outside my office, and he'll hear me just start singing. And if I have the AirPods in, oh my God, it's like acapella terrible.
Oh, Aka horrible. That's what I call it.
Aka horrible. Yeah, that would be it, because I think I've done Against All Odds, and I'll just belt it out when Phil Collins is singing it. So
I'll tell you a hilarious story about that. So growing up, I grew up in East Texas, and our house, we lived, it was in a town of about 50, 60,000 people. And where our house was kind of in the city, but we had about, I'd say, 2 acres of land, right? And so we had this field that was about an acre or so back there, and I would have to mow it. Well, when I was a kid, I'd have the Walkman on, and I'd be back there mowing, and I'd be singing at the top of my lungs, just having a good, grand old time. Well, the guy that lived behind us worked at the railroad with my mom, and I never knew that for years. And then he used to go in on Mondays and tell my mom, well, Jay had a good weekend. I see he mowed the yard, and he was in his music again. It was, he could hear me singing in his yard, and it's a hilarious thing. So, and he used to tease me about that when I was older. He said, "You're gonna come serenade me this weekend." So I thought that was kind of fun.
Well, I can't sing, but it's remarkably, I sing really good in the shower. I mean, I think I do. I don't care. It's the acoustics in there is great. So,
yeah, I'm sure you're giving Whitney Houston a run for her money, right?
Oh, I'm sure I do. I actually used to. Do you remember Aha's "Take on Me"?
Yeah.
I used to be able to hit that high note.
Wow.
I used to be able to hit it, and yeah, I can't do it anymore. I actually hate listening to the song because I can't do it, even though I try. So yeah, I can't do it anymore. However, my son, he could change his voice. He has a really deep voice, but he could also go really high. So,
So some people have a very mixed view on this. So you remember we built this city, right?
yeah, Starship.
Okay. Do you are a fan or not a fan?
I'm a fan.
See, I like the song too, but I see some people hate on that song, and I'm like, dude, that's like one of the best songs, you know?
I wonder
like
why they hate on it.
I don't know, but like the part where they like break in with the radio, like it's the radio in San Francisco breaking into the song, and then they go to the end, like I love it. Like I love the whole song.
Yeah, I do too. One of their Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. I like that one. So, but Jefferson Starship, I've liked them. So, all right, favorite comedian.
This is funny because I actually met him, but my favorite is the guy that played Deuce Bigelow.
Deuce, you met Andrew Dice Clay?
No, that's not who it is. It's
oh, wait a minute, Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Yeah, and me and the wife met Rob Schneider.
I was saying that you met because I've met Andrew Dice Clay before, and I don't know why I was thinking Deuce something. Why was that? But Deuce Bigelow is Rob Schneider, so sorry about that. But I met Andrew Dice Clay before.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I kind of like I like a lot of Adam Sandler's early work. Towards the end, it wasn't quite as good in my opinion, but like the Lunchroom Lady and the Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, and I have to tell you, anyone that says they don't like The Waterboy is not alive, right?
Right. I love that movie. I thought The Waterboy is quality H2O. So I mean. He was great in it. Jack and Jill was the best movie ever. I'm only kidding. That was not.
But when he's talking about Mama says that the crocodile saying because he ain't got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
And she actually, Kathy Bates, I think that's her name, Kathy Bates, she played a great job as his mom.
Oh, it's funny because I see her in other stuff and like I don't care what I see her in. She's always mama. Like, like people are like that. Like, I'll give you an example. So, like, we really like This Is Us, right? The TV show.
Yep.
And it's got a guy who plays Randall, the African-American gentleman that plays him.
Right.
Well, he was in a show that we used to love. We used to watch a show called Army Wives on Sunday nights. And he was in that show. And I remember thinking when we first started watching This Is Us dude, I'm never going to see this guy as Randall. He's always going to be the guy. Well, now we've watched This Is Us longer actually than we watched Army Wives, and now he's Randall. And it's just weird how these actors that they do such a good job that they almost take on that person, like you see them as that person.
Yep. And I've watched This Is Us too. Actually, that's on my like how the things I watch because I just look at them on Hulu. But Monday nights all the way, like This Is Us is one of them. Not on Mondays. I can't remember when.
Tuesday. It's on Tuesday nights.
It was on Wednesday for Hulu. That's when I watch it usually. 911.
My wife loves that show.
And but my kids, like I'll watch it like so when I get home from work, I'll sit down and I'll watch the shows while I'm eating. And I watch like the Good Doctor, all these doctor shows, New Amsterdam, The Resident, 911. 911 Texas or whatever. I can't even remember what the one that I think it's 911 Texas or whatever that one or Houston. But either way, I'll watch them, and when they're doing something gory in it, my kids go, "How can you eat doing that?" Well, that's easy for me. I could do it anyway. It's just easy for me.
That's the same thing, And I have to tell you, the thing I love about those type of shows is. You can learn a lot, but it's so weird. It's so weird how they like. There's so many different shows, and they still come up with new storylines. And I'm like, man, Grey's Anatomy's been around for like what 20 years. It feels like.
Yep.
And yet they still have new concepts, and you're just like, man, how do you guys? You just think of how much ground they've covered, and then they have to keep in mind all the story writing that they've already done, so that they don't mess up because. If they do, the audience will not let them forget.
Rachel Beck. Oh my gosh, she can't. Hi, Rachel. Thank you for coming, Rachel. You're awesome. I'm going through. I know she likes the 80s.
Well, Rachel, you want to come on the show? We got a little bit of time left if she wants to come on.
Yeah, Rachel, if you want, and I actually gave it to her before, but Rachel, if you want to, please, anybody, if you want to come on, come on. Kenneth Dunner. Oh my gosh.
Savor the flavor, baby. I wish he would come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny, are you where you can come on? I got to tell you, I have yet to see him on video or like really interact with him other than through like comments and stuff like that. It would make my Friday if Kenneth Dunner missed. I've nicknamed him. I swear he needs to call himself Willy Wonka because he's got to savor the flavor and awesomeness and all that. He reminds me of Willy Wonka. Like he is like the breathing version of Willy Wonka. He
is. I actually have talked to him via video chat before. Great person. Great.
So I'm supposed to give you crap because Kenneth's already committed. Like I'm going to Houston in a few weeks.
Uh-huh.
And he's told me that when I get to Houston, we're going to meet up, whether it be for lunch, dinner, or coffee or something. But he and I are going to actually meet, and I'm going to get to rub it into you because I'm going to be in Houston where he's at and actually get to meet him.
See, now that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, if anybody wants to come on, I know the StreamYard link is on there. If you want to put it up again, please come on. I guess so. You left on your comedian Andrew, but the Andrew Dice Clay wasn't my favorite. My favorite was, and I got to go with Mariella on this, was Robin Williams.
Oh, he really set the bar so high, and he was a different kind of comedian when he came on. Yeah.
He was, and I love the way how he did improv. I mean, being in his mind, it would just be. The way that it just went from one thing to another thing to another to another. I love that about him. I really did.
I still love the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. I just love it. And I've got he was Times Man of the Year or whatever the year that he died, and I got that. I got my team when I was out in Columbus, Ohio. Because I'll tell you why they did it, but they got me this really nice framed version of that magazine, and it hangs in my man cave, and it's a reminder because I told them, I said, we don't do a good enough job with checking in with each other. Like, we want to say, hey, how you doing? Are you, and then we get into whatever it is we called them about. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Oh, I'm all right. Hey, listen, I was calling because of X, Y, Z, and W, and Sheila Easton's coming over, and then we're going to sing with Jefferson Starship and whatever, right? And I'll see you later, right? But, like, we don't do a good enough job as people, I think, sometimes with just checking in with each other. Like, no. You all right, man? Everything good? Like, how's things, And I thought to myself, like, for Robin Williams, here's a guy that portrays happiness and upbeatedness and all that, right? And yet he took his own life. And it's kind of one of those things where I often ask people, I'm like, what would have happened that morning if someone would have really checked in with Robin and said, no, Robin, man, are you sure you don't seem yourself today? Like, you all right? And
right.
Would he still be here? And that's why I have it up there, is it's a reminder to me when I see it, that to be present and to not just get into that rut of just saying, hey, you are right, but to really ensure that people are all right.
Well, and that's, I know this week is mental health awareness week. I believe it is. And I know I really feel for anybody out there. My father, he was a manic depressive, and I know what he went through. And my dad was a great man. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2014. But he was a great man, and I know what he went through, what he suffered through, and it's hard to explain it to anybody unless you go through it. Because I believe, and I'm not saying this was me, but I think a lot of people do tell the jokes on the outside, so people don't know how you're feeling on the inside. And I wish I'm the one thing I am glad about my dad, when he was depressed, we all knew about it. So,
well, and that's, it's interesting. I didn't intend to bring this up, but since we kind of went down this road this week, I'm actually having a gentleman on the Living a Purposeful Lifestyle show on Wednesday at 3. His name's Matt Dorgan. Matt and I worked together at Kroger. So he was the loss prevention officer, and I was the regional operations manager, and we became good friends. His daughter, who 15, 16 years old, took her life middle end of last year. And he's been on this mission ever since, that he doesn't want any other fathers or mothers or families to go through what he's gone through. So he's going to come on the show and talk about some foundations he's working with and things that he's working on. And he calls it a bridge of hope, I think is what it's called. And talking about creating the bridges between those who need the help with the healthcare providers and the services that they need to get the help with what they're facing. So I didn't mean to bring the show down with that, but I just I think it's important, like you said, that we note that.
All right. So, and thank you, Jason. And Jason, put the link in as well so people know where to go for yours.
Okay.
For next week. Mariella says, I'll join on screen next week. Thank you, Mariella. We have a construction crew here and it's so loud. Quick story, Steve, my hubby, and I were very lucky to meet Robin. Oh, wow. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
One of the shows here in Santa Barbara, he was so gracious and so funny. When he heard that I was born in Greece, he said, yeah, so, oh my God, that would be just awesome. That would be, I would love to, I would have loved to meet him. And you know what? It's like some of the great people. I had a chance to meet Stan Lee and I never did it. And I will always, that will be just a regret, but that's awesome. You got to meet him, Mariella. That is really, really awesome.
Did you get a picture? I want to know, did she get the photo? Did you at least get to take a photo with him?
Yeah. Did you get a photo with him? We want proof of life. We want to see it. So, and Paul Wright says, Yojo, I nearly didn't recognize you without your Batman suit on. Like I would wear that on. I had the helmet on one of the Saturday shows. Were you on that one? Like, were you on too, Paul, when I did that? Or
yeah, you put it on the one where me, you, and Ira did it, but then you were also on Brian Schulman's Shout Out Saturday, that Saturday that you guys took a break, and you actually wore it there too.
That is awesome. And she has a picture. Don't worry, you don't have to upload it. You know, send it to Jason and I, and we'll look. I think it's just awesome that you have something like that. So that is just great.
Yeah, that's a treasure, like something to really hold on to. So congratulations, that's amazing.
That is good. All right.
So Joe, who, like, I know this wasn't one of the questions, but I'm curious, like, who is your biggest, in your mind, the biggest celebrity you've ever met in person?
I ever met in person? Well, there's not many that I met in person. I met Patrick Stewart in person, and I'm a comic book. That did not go well. That was terrible, as a matter of fact, because here I am, and I understand you got to put yourself in that person's shoes, but we were at Wizard World Comic-Con in Chicago. And actually, the story was 3 days before my father passed away. So we got to see my dad, who was full of life and everything, before he died, because my father passed away unexpectedly. But anyway, so we go to Comic-Con the next day. I was staying at the Rosemont Hotel or whatever, the Hilton that was over there with the kids. And and a couple people I saw Patrick Stewart, and I asked him because my daughter liked him, Professor Xavier, as well as I did, and go like this. Do you mind if I take a picture with you? And he didn't even look up. He just said, move along. And that was it. And so I've always told my kids, don't ever meet your heroes. I mean, because here I like Professor Xavier. I hope Hugh Jackman or Ryan Reynolds wouldn't do that sort of thing, but but I also understand he had such a line, and if everybody stopped and did that, who would it be? But I had a chance to meet Stan Lee over Patrick Stewart, and I picked Patrick Stewart.
You brought up Hugh Jackman. You brought up Hugh Jackman, right? I'm a huge fan of The Greatest Showman.
Oh, I love that show.
So, have you ever seen the clip of the out clip on YouTube that they have? So where he sings From Now On, that he sings at the end of the movie. So, have you seen that story about
clip or what they did when he was sick?
It was right. They were trying to get the movie greenlit, and he had cancer cut out of his nose.
Yeah, he had cancer, and he wasn't supposed to sing, but
they just slayed it, right?
Right, and he did such a great job. That was awesome. He did just a great job on that. But I would imagine Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, all of them, it would be great to meet. You know who I did meet at that same place? The guy who played, I can't remember his name, and he's on one of the shows I watch now. He's on The Rookie, but it was Iceman. I should look up his name or whatever, but he was there. Now he took a picture with the whole family, like he hugged us, took a picture with us. That was amazing. Lou Ferrigno. I went over to him and go like this, hey, my wife, or can I get a picture with you? Or can I I forgot how I mentioned it. And he goes like, he told us how much. And then it was my wife. I go, well, I don't want the picture. It's actually for my wife. And his eyes lit up and stuff like that. I guess he thought he would be taking a picture with me, but it wasn't. It was with my wife. So because my wife liked him. And she talks about that his muscle was as big as her head. So, and she still has that picture. We met Nicole Brea, and she played on Sleepy Hollow, and she was the lieutenant or whatever. And he was the nicest person. It was right when Sleepy Hollow came out, and that was my wife's and it was our date night. So we would watch her or watch the show. So when we were walking around, excuse me, nobody was over there. So we went over there and got to talk to her. She's a really nice lady too. Really nice. And I know Brent Spiner was there. God, who else? Worf was there. You see a bunch of them over there. But the most memorable and the worst was the Patrick Stewart one.
Yeah, so that's sad. Let me share two with you. So
okay,
I'm a big golf fan, and I was at the Memorial Tournament when I was living in Columbus, and me and my dad got there really early. I took him for the whole tournament for Father's Day weekend, and we got there really early. We were the first people through the gates. There's hardly anybody there. And we get down and, we go to the driving range, and Phil Mickelson's going off early that day, and there's nobody else around. And he's hitting, and he turns around, he just starts talking to us. He's like, wow. He's like, big crowd today. And anyway, so he acknowledged us, and he sat there and talked to us for a good 5 to 10 minutes about, how his golf game was, just in general. I mean, it was awesome. But
I'm listening to you too, Jason.
Yeah,
I'm getting the
picture. I no, you're good. So, but the craziest story I have is when I was in the Air Force here at Omaha. we used to work down at the concert hall, the venue, right? And because we worked there, we typically did the T-shirt sales, or we would work security. Well, because we were military, we always went early, and they got us in there. And so one show we were working Kiss, and we're setting everything up. And I hadn't worked very many events at this time, but it's my first event really, and we get everything set up, and we're standing around. It's about 2 hours before the gates open, and no kidding, here they come. Kiss, walking, full costume, everything. They come up, they take pictures, tell us thanks for selling their merch and thanks for serving our country. Gene Simmons was the bomb. The bomb.
Awesome.
And and so then, when we go, that was a really good one. The skating, figure skating. So figure skating was all the rage, and during that time was when like Christina Yamaguchi and all them came, and those girls were super fabulous to us. But by far the ones that stick out the most is in the heyday of the Attitude Era of WWE. They had a Monday Night Raw, and we were working, and we got to go backstage, and we met Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, all of them, and that there will never be anything that lives up to that. We were like part of the gang. And the funniest thing, and I always tell people ask me what stands out the most is, those guys are just as big personalities outside the ring as they are in it, right? The funniest thing ever was seeing the Big Show sitting in this folding chair. And it reminded me, it would be like you or I going back to kindergarten and you sitting in one of those little bitty kindergarten chairs. He made that chair look like it was nothing. He was that big of a man. And but Paul White, that's Big Show, awesome individual. And the thing is that was so awesome was they made us feel so welcome and so appreciated. Like they made us feel like VIPs.
See,
and I'll never forget that from them.
I think that is huge with any. I really think that's huge when if you're a celebrity, people look up to you. And I don't know. I mean, as I say, mine was I think it was just a bad day for him. But I've met great people like the Bobby, the Iceman. That was great. I still have the picture of Patrick Stewart, as Professor Xavier. Signed. It's my daughter's though, because she wanted it. So, and Paul right here, he said, my claim to fame is I helped the Yellow Power Ranger to build their website.
That's pretty cool.
Yellow Power Ranger. I think that's. Oh, wait a minute. I do remember who that is. I do remember. He said he feels bad that it wasn't the pink one, but I remember. I think her name was Kimberly. All right, I'm going to show you the picture because she said we can put it on. Mariella, this is of Robin Williams and you.
Oh yes.
That is awesome. Really awesome.
That is way cool.
Yeah, I would be keeping that thing up anywhere. That is really good. I don't know how to pronounce this, but we had someone ask us. Shazad asked about what's going on in Palestine and Israel, and all I would say about that is prayers for everybody involved. Whenever we as people hate each other so much that we resort to violence and bullets and guns and explosions it's such a really sad deal all the way around. So prayers for Israel, prayers for, all the folks that are caught in the middle of all that mess over there. I can't stress that enough in my mind. Yep. I agree. Well, wait a minute. Did you just put that up? How did I? Oh, no, never mind. I got it. Sorry. Remember, first time. All right. So we're coming down to the close.
Yeah.
We've been on for about an hour. I'm actually feeling good. I felt good that I did this. I am comfortable enough that I'll be able to do this again.
I told you that once you do it, you get really good and you feel comfortable and you're like, okay, this is not that bad, right?
Right.
So I'm proud of you. Hey Joe, I really mean this. I'm proud that you're taking that step to start your own show, and you came on my show and supported me. So if you ever need another sidekick at any time, all you got to do is ask. I'm always there for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jason. That really means a lot. And everybody, I mean, please follow Jason Ricks. Great guy. Please follow him. Please follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow Joe the Finance Guy. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Just follow me. But I'm going to end it right here. Jason, do you got any parting words?
No, I just want to say Diane was late to the party, but Diane Hoover is always there for me. So thanks for showing up. Better late than never. And if you didn't catch the early part of the show, man, we had some fun and a lot of cool conversations. I love this show because I just love how it just goes where it goes. And there's no script. You never know what's going to happen. So
no, and maybe next week I will have a fifth of Southern Comfort with me.
I love it. If you bring one on, I'll make sure I have mine on at home. And even if I'm doing it virtually with you, I'll take a picture and send it and you can share it. All right.
All right, good. Then I'm good with it, because I'm thinking, as many times as Ira has done this for me, I'm thinking I'm going to give him a break. I want to keep trying so I can get better. And what better person to do it with is that Ira would be right there. Joe, you got to hit this button. Joe, you got to.
And he will, believe me, he will make sure you know.
Yep, I know he will. Well, I will see you later, everybody. Thank you for anything. I got to get the music up first, so let me get this up first so we can start. And I will talk to you later. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, good to see you, Joe. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
BowmanDigitalMedia.com.
JoeTheFinanceGuy.com